welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Hi, I'm Megan. So today is the 2nd of February and that means I've been on YouTube for a whole year. It feels insane but also amazing because it's quite scary putting parts of your life online, but then there are also parts of it that are memories that I get to keep for the rest of my life. I want to spend this afternoon watching one of my first ever YouTube videos that I ever created, which is Open University, Is It Worth It? I'm gonna cringe so hard at this because I went through a lot of issues with this upload and with the filming as well. But I wanted to discuss how I started my channel. So I was at my friend Neatri's, which you have seen on my channel before. She has been on my channel, hopefully she will again. I had been complaining about wanting to start a channel for ages. One day she just was like, go and start your channel. And I was like, oh, I don't have equipment. I have a ring light, but I don't have a camera. I didn't have a decent phone to film on at the time, and all of a sudden I see this woman get up, she pulls out a camera and she puts it on the table and she's like, there, go film, stop complaining. That is how my channel was born. To Neantri, thank you so much. I wouldn't have started my channel or been able to start without you. It was really sweet of you to let me use your camera for so long. I think I was using her camera for a good 6 months before I started using my phone, and then eventually I bought my Sony and now I finally film on that. Originally I was filming on the Mark II. Great camera, but I had a lot of issues with it when I started filming because I didn't know anything about cameras. Let's get into it.
Hello everyone and welcome.
So I see that I originally started doing this. I actually forgot about this. The whole intro thing, well, I dropped that a long time ago.
To my first YouTube video. Finally I'm making a YouTube video. Finally I'm making a YouTube.
The editing, it's not great.
I just thought, everyone else is doing it, why can't I? I think everyone thinks like that. It's just one of those things where you think you're not good enough, or the hell am I gonna film? You never know really, so here I am, I'm doing it. And hopefully you're gonna come along with me on this wonderful and...
That sort of changed. I stopped thinking that way because I wanted something to have my creativity come out, because I didn't have a job or just anything to get the creativity out, and I needed an outlet if I was going to be doing other things and that were not creative in the industry that I wanted to be in. It happened to be this. I love creating videos before I was even doing YouTube, and I think that's something that I had in my mind when I was thinking about starting my channel. So this was me saying everyone thinks like that. No, not really. I had a different mindset, but I think at the time I was nervous talking in front of the camera, so I was like, everyone thinks like that. It took me about, I'm not gonna lie, about 7 tries to upload this video. First I had an issue with the sizing. I didn't have the correct formatting for YouTube, and I had just started using Adobe Premiere Pro, the free trial version. I hadn't bought it at that point. I was just testing out different editing softwares that I had gone online and researched what was the best, and apparently Adobe was pretty much the best and pretty much what everyone uses. I hadn't at that point figured out how to do anything. I didn't know how to upload, set the sizing, so it took me a long time to research everything, make sure I had the correct sizing, the correct formatting, the correct audio formatting. It was a whole mess. It took me a whole day to figure out how to actually fix it. And then it took me a whole day of re-uploading it. There were so many issues. And then there was an uploading issue that the file formatting wasn't correct and the rendering wasn't good. There was a whole lot of issues. I remember I even had to go onto like Google to fix something, Google Console to fix something, and eventually it had nothing to do with that. It was this, and we got there eventually.
Exciting and terrifying journey, so let's get into it. Today's video, I want to talk about universities and what I wish I knew before I went and before I chose where I was going to go. Because if you're anything like me and you may not have wanted to go...
There's definitely 2 cuts of videos in here, and I think it's because I lost half the footage because I was still new to using the camera and the editing software. Oh, that's right. So the video did upload. It uploaded on the 1st, and then I deleted the file without thinking I might need that file. Luckily the footage was still on the camera. I'd already started deleting some of that footage because I filmed it in sections, and then I had to re-film the next day. This whole video was a mess. So bad.
At university, you may have thought you weren't good enough, not smart enough. Please never think like that. You are more than capable of going.
Oh, this is when my cat was still alive. If you don't know, my dear baby girl, she passed away last year from bone cancer, and she's in this video. I forgot about that. This is what I'm talking about when I say that it's scary to put parts of your life on YouTube, but it's also a place to keep memories that are never gonna disappear. Everything stays on the internet. So even if you delete it, it's always gonna be there. It makes me wanna cry, shame. It's heavy on my chest that she's still in this video, but it's also beautiful that I get to I get to feel like she's still here because of this video.
Going to university if you want to. I'm not here to force anyone or tell anyone to go to university. This is just my experience, what I wish I knew, because if I can help anybody who's kind of going through the same emotions or situation that I was going through at the time when I was trying to pick what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, if I wanted to go anywhere. So I went to a non-traditional university. I did a university online. I went to...
The audio is so bad. Okay, so at the time I didn't have a microphone for my camera, and the Mark II doesn't have a microphone input. So I was recording just with its normal microphone, and the normal microphone had a terrible white noise behind it. I remember trying to fix the white noise situation with the denoise on Adobe Premiere Pro, and all I did was create this very deep, hollow echo with my voice. It got rid of the white noise. For a good 2-3 months, I was still just recording with the audio from the camera, which was so bad. And then eventually I got a microphone, but there was no microphone input, so I started recording on my phone, the phone that I had at the time. So I was recording the video and the audio separately and then trying to link them together when I was editing. You'll see that my mouth does not match the audio because I did not fix that properly. It's all part of the learning experience, and it's funny to me. It's quite annoying, I'm not gonna lie, but it's funny as well to see that that was a thing, that I did that, and the journey that I've taken to get to this point. The camera that I have now actually has a microphone and a filter that comes with it. I have a microphone that goes with the camera, but it's not a very good one. So I am waiting to get that, and that's all part of the journey, is getting stuff as you go along.
To Open University, that is based in Milton Keynes, and I will get into who Open University is.
Why is the music so much louder than my voice?
But before we do that, I need to go and make a cup of coffee. So why don't we go do that?
I know I should be watching myself, but I keep watching my cat walk across the couch. This was my first ever make my coffee with me situation, and that is so cute. I don't do this anymore. I don't do this specific thing anymore.
So I have my little list of pros and cons for Open University. So yeah, let's get into it. Number one, it's affordable. It's 30% cheaper than going to a more traditional university to go onto a campus, because you aren't paying the maintenance to live at your campus. If you live at the campus, you don't necessarily have to, depending on what university you go to. Because OU is online, I get to study at home, in bed, which I have done most of the time. And I get to stay home and drink as many cups of tea and coffees as I want. On top of that, I
keep cutting off sentences. I was really struggling with the editing.
have to go and stay and park at a campus. Parking in the UK does cost quite a bit of money. There aren't a lot of free places to park. If I had to pay every day to go and park at my campus, or the days that I do go to uni, it really racks up. So it does help that I don't have to do that. Number two, you do get a lot of discounts. So for the books and materials and any additional things that you're going to need to study, you do get discounts on that. Although most universities give discounts, such as Uni Days, Student Beans, and Amazon Student. Number three, employers like how Open University works. Because you are required to study on your own, do everything.
Oh, I'm noticing that, okay, at the time I didn't know how to fix the motion sensor on the camera, on the Mark II. It's struggling to pick me up as I'm moving. It could have been a few things. It could have been the lighting, it could have been anything. But I remember the Mark II did struggle to pick up my motions. And that might have been because I did not set up the camera properly, whereas now I actually know how to do that, and I've done it on this camera. So my skills have sort of gotten better, just not professional.
On your own, plan your time, plan your deadlines, and once you learn that from the beginning, they don't have to teach you.
I still agree with that. Employers do like that people who have studied on online platforms or at online universities, they do get hired a lot better because of the fact that we've had to do everything on our own. Just get on with it, whereas they don't have time to teach that in a work setting. They just want you to get on with it. They're going to give you the work. They want to see that you have the efficiency to do it and just get it done.
That is something that is quite unique for most online learning platforms. You are required to do it on your own. There is no one that's going to help you. You're either going to do the deadline or you're going to fail. So they like that. They like that they don't have to teach that. Number four, Open University provide mini courses. These courses were a huge help when I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. So I did a bunch of the mini courses. There's loads of them. They're all on the OU website. I'll list them here if you want. And you can go.
I still do those every so often.
Anybody who wants to give them a go, you don't have to be a student. You can just make a profile and go and do the free courses. And there's a long list. There's maths, there's science,
English, history, philosophy, music studies, drama, media, business.
they're all on there for free. Number five, you get to study at home. which is fantastic when you live in a cold country that is cold 90% of the time, and it's raining and it's windy and it's miserable. Studying in my own bed, not having to get changed, not having to worry about clothes or makeup. I don't have to get into my car in the cold. I get to stay in bed and chill out and open my books with all my highlighters and do what I please. And the last thing about Open University that I think is wonderful, because it's from home.
I'm also only realizing now that my accent is very mottled. It's kind of weird when you hear yourself and you're like, I don't sound like that, but actually you do.
Don't have time to go and sit in a class. If you are a mom that wants to study something and you've got little kids, or you've got kids in general that you have to be around for all the time, it's a great way to part-time study and still be able to do all that, to work as well as you plan your own schedule, because you get to study on your own time. And like any other university, you get excellent advice, excellent tutoring. There are so many more pros that I could mention, but those are just a few that I wrote down as I saw from other students. So yeah, go and have a look at that. But for my negatives, there aren't that many from what I've experienced. So number one, you don't get to experience student life. You know, beans on toast, the hot noodles, the living away from home, the experiencing of the lifestyle, the parties, the student nights. You don't get to experience all of that. The campuses, and for some people that's okay.
Okay, I need to change that. You can have the student life with OU. When I had my graduation in November last year, how many students, I didn't realize how many were actually living so close to me. So technically I could have lived that student life, gone out partying, all that jazz, but it wasn't for me, so I didn't want to do that. OU doesn't stop you from doing that. It's just about finding the right people. But I personally just didn't want any of that. I just wanted to study and get on with it.
You don't always build relationships with other students and or your teacher, because you're not going to traditional classes, traditional lectures, because they're all done online. You don't get to build a relationship with other students. You don't get to make friends with other students. It is possible. Like for me, I do have a group chat with all of the students that are on my course.
This group chat. So it was for my third year and I was studying creative writing. This is my creative writing section of my degree. And we had a WhatsApp that I was put on. I never said one single thing on this group chat. I looked at what other people were saying, but I didn't want to be involved. The day that we finished that I sent in my final assignment, I left that group. I spent a whole year on that group and it just used to annoy me because I used to get notification after notification, 10 notifications a day, 20, and it just drove me nuts. Eventually I archived it and silenced it because I was like, this is just annoying. So if you want to be part of the group chats, go for it, but I shouldn't have.
Number 3, teachers are not always prompt when it comes to email.
I'm just an introvert.
I have had in the past a teacher that didn't reply for a whole week when I needed them to reply as soon as possible. You are given your tutor's phone number as well as their email address, but for me, I never felt comfortable just texting my teacher or giving them a call. But you don't always get.
I'm going to back on myself. I wish I had just had the balls to text my teacher. I know it's very personal and intrusive in my mind, but when you need something pronto, you just need to just pull out the guns and just go with it. If you are in that situation where you've emailed them and you're not getting an email back and it's been a week, just text them.
A quick response. It's very rare. I've only had it maybe a handful of times, but all throughout the 3 years that I've been studying, all of my teachers have pretty much been quite prompt. But yes, you don't always get a quick response. Number 4, all of your tutorials, all of your lectures are going to be online. Sometimes the system is going to be down. There's nothing you can do about that. Sometimes the internet is just meh. Sometimes the classes are full, so you can't get onto them. Sometimes the tutors get mixed up on their schedules and they don't show up. These are things that you cannot change, you just have to deal with them. But that is something to keep in mind. With OU, if you are taking a degree that requires you to take exams, you only get 2 attempts to do that exam. If you fail at both, you might end up losing all the money that you paid to do the course. So
where they have teachers that are booked in for lectures and then they don't show up. If that happens, most of the time you can do your assignment without going to a lecture, especially if you've got enough information and you can look up a lot of information. But in the case of OU, if I was going to miss a lecture or if the tutor didn't show up, there are always other lectures that you can get onto before the deadline of your assignment. And or sometimes a lot of those lectures are pre-recorded, so you can go back and watch those. You can cut an hour and a half way down by 40 minutes, just fast forwarding from getting to the actual nitty-gritties of what the assignment is about and the information that you need, and then maybe a few other things. I used to just do that. I just used to go and find the pre-recordings, if there were any pre-recordings, and just watch those because I could not be bothered to sit at lectures. OU was the best option for me because I hated school. I loved the educational part of it, but I hated the actual school part, the socializing sector of it. So OU was the best option for me. I didn't have to interact with anybody, which is weird because now my job requires me to interact with people. Anyway.
Bear that in mind if you are going to do a degree that requires you to take an exam. And I don't know if other universities and more traditional universities have the same requirement, so just check that out beforehand. When I spoke about Open University to friends, colleagues, family friends, they questioned whether I was actually going to get a qualification. It really did bug me that people asked me this. Yes, you do get a qualification, so you do get a full...
There's definitely two different clips smushed together, so something definitely happened when I was filming. It does look very choppy though, so there is that. And luckily over the year I have learnt, if I am going to do that, if I'm going to film over 2 days, just say it's the next day or whatever, but very choppy.
And I happen to be one of those people, I hated being in a classroom. It just wasn't for me. If you are someone who wants to experience student life, then I would suggest going to a more conventional university and not studying from home. But other than that, most of the pros is that you can study from home at your own pace. It's cheaper. You do get more out of it because you are being self-motivated to do it. So you do get a lot more experience being self-dependent and self-motivated on that topic. Hello. This is just for people who have considered it and worried about it and felt like they wouldn't be good enough to go and feel like they wouldn't pass. Never say that you can't do something when you can, because I told myself that I couldn't, and now I'm 4 months away from finishing. And if this video can help anybody that is struggling with that thought,
She was so sweet. It feels so long ago that she hasn't been here, but it's only been 3 months and I'm still so heartbroken.
Thought process. Please take it from me, who always thought that she wasn't good enough to be in university, to study, to do it independently, and to almost be finishing and graduating. If you had asked me 3 years ago or 4 years ago, do you think you would do well in university? I probably would have said hell no.
You know what's so strange about hearing myself talk about being in Open University is now that I'm finished, I still have all of the same thoughts about OU as well as the negatives, but there's so many more positives. These were mainly the ones that other people had concerns about and that had asked me in the past, and there was a lot of other students or people that were considering being an OU student that needed that reassurance, answer their questions for them. I still agree with a lot of this, I really do. The teacher thing, there's still a few things that I was not completely happy with, but it is what it is. I'm still considering doing another degree because OU really was a fantastic option for me personally. Finally feel like I accomplished something, even though it's just a piece of paper and it's not going to matter when I'm dead, but it matters to me. I did a bunch of different things in my life before I decided to do OU. I went to university very late. I was at 22 when I started, and it's not late, but it's late for understanding in my mind, you know, for me. But I did a bunch of different things in my 20s, still in my 20s, but throughout my younger 20s. And they say that you should try everything in your 20s. Try everything until something sticks, and what stuck was finally deciding to do university. The other thing I'll say about this video is I definitely was nervous filming this, and I've gotten a lot better talking to the camera, and I feel so much better in the way that I edit. I know it's not perfect, but I still feel better in the way that I edit and the way I do things. It's a really nice change to see where I've come from and where I'm going and where I am now. It's a really nice thing to see.
Like, I am not made for university, but here I am telling
I love the way my cat's like, are you gonna pet me or not?
you that I'm nearly finished, and it's exciting for me. It's going to be an exciting new chapter. This is an exciting new chapter, and I hope that you're going to come with me on this journey. The journey of graduating, the journey afterwards, and the journey of YouTube. On that note,
It's so weird to say almost finishing and graduating, and now here I am.
I hope this video has been informative. I know it's quite boring for my first video, but I hope it's giving you so much more to think about. So have a lovely day, and if you would like to, please subscribe and like this video. You don't have to, but it would be so wonderful if you did. Thank you. Bye guys.
Actually, saying that, when I was saying, oh, this video is boring, blah, 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 actually I did get a few comments asking about did I enjoy going to OU. It was nice to be able to interact with other people that are considering it. I was able to give them some advice, which is so nice. Oh, that's so funny. I don't do that anymore. The ending with my Instagram has changed. It's now Megan Candace Duffy because I didn't like the 22. It's not Megan Duffy 22. Obviously, I've got a new subscribe button that shows up at the bottom of the screen. By the way, if you want to see more videos, like and subscribe. Wow, so much stuff has changed since my first video. It feels like a lot. I feel happy that I started my channel because it's such a wonderful thing for me to be doing as a hobby. It makes me happy that I got to see my cat in my video. That was the bonus. So now that we've watched the video, I do want to start giving some updates on what's going to be happening on my channel going forward. I know for a whole year I've been uploading twice a week every week. That is going to be changing. As of next week, I officially am going to be starting to post once a week every week. This is just because I want to focus on making longer content like I did on Wednesday's video. That video was just under 20 minutes long. It was so nice to make. I really enjoyed it because I got to leave so much footage in that I would have actually cut out. And I want there to be longer content on my channel, as well as short content. The 9-minute videos are still going to be up, but longer content is definitely where I'm focusing and want to take my channel. Also, I feel like throughout January, I haven't been focusing enough on making good content, not only for you guys, but for myself. Content to be satisfactory for me and you. If I don't like what I'm creating, then how am I expecting you guys to like what I'm creating? I need to focus more on my business as much as I am focusing on YouTube. And to do that, I need to cut down somewhere, and unfortunately that has to be YouTube. Now I know I'm going to lose quite a few subscribers, and that's completely fine. I am thankful that you guys have stuck around as long as you have. I'm thankful for those that subscribed and are still here. I'm thankful for those that have subscribed and left. I think this is a good time for me to change things. I definitely want to go back to 2 videos a week eventually, when things are sort of settled down. I sort of know what I'm doing. I sort of know where my channel is going. I am sorry, but things are changing. Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye guys.